Hey man, you wanted to see me?
Oh, yeah, come on in. Man, I just got this letter. It's a cease and desist order? Uh, you, you saying I'm harassing you and using it to get views online?
Yeah. I did send it out.
Man, I don't really know what this is about. I mean, there's always a guy at the bottom of the totem pole. It just happens to be you.
Yeah, and last year, and the year before that, and the year before that.
Well, that's your own doing.
It shouldn't always be me.
Maybe you're right. Okay, all right. Let me take a look at your file for a second, okay? 8, 15, and 4. That could be worse. 1, 7, and 2, last 10. Ooh, 50% attendance. I'm sorry, man, but you kind of suck.
What if I find somebody else?
Who?
What about Montreal? They're terrible this year.
Too much history there. It would just look like me shitting on a rival.
Okay, the Blackhawks?
No, not touching that one.
Arizona?
I'm not making fun of a homeless guy.
Fine. The Islanders, they're perfect. They were contenders. Everyone thought they were contenders, and now they suck. They're terrible.
I just like making fun of you more. Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team. That is a dub. That is 5 points out of 6 points on a West Coast swing. There's a back-to-back in there against a really good team in Calgary, a good team and the best player in the world in Edmonton, and the Vancouver Canucks. Not too shabby. 5 out of 6 points, we take that all day, gentlemen. I don't care who your opponents are. Gentlemen and ladies, of course. It is 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. Don't let anyone ever say I'm not putting in the hours. And I set off the alarm this morning, the house alarm. Wee woo, got the call and everything. Because my girlfriend changed the settings on it while I was gone. Which, probably says a lot about the relationship. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. That does actually kind of bring me to a point, though. I don't want any of you to underestimate how great it was to see all the comments, just the condolences, the wishing well for my family and my poppy and everything. So I don't want to start this off on a sad note, but it was very impactful and it mattered a lot. Never underestimate just being kind like that, because it really did have a real effect on me, and I appreciate it. But let's talk about this dub! We're back! Your regularly scheduled low quality! And we just beat the absolute bejesus out of Calgary. Sort of. A second game in a row where it kind of feels like maybe we didn't outplay our opponent, but we won the game. And really, at the end of the day, which would you rather do? Right? We'll get more into that. Olmark's going to get the start. Carlo still out. Lower body injury. I'm not entirely sure what is happening there. I haven't been as tuned in as I usually have been because gone for a couple days. So I'm trying to pick up some of the pieces. So the top 6 is still not split up. And interestingly enough, Grizz is going to be put on his offside. So the lines are a little shaken up. Howlett goes back to the center. He was in the center for the Edmonton game too. I don't like that. I think he plays much better on the left wing. Freddie, he gets more center time. He's been doing more on the center time. He looks good at the center. It's kind of funny how we have one guy who we keep bringing back to center who doesn't look good at center, and then another guy who keeps getting jumbled around but looks better at center. Freddie Howlett is probably not a good line, though, so I'm kind of talking out of my ass with that one. We have a 4-game point streak. It will be 5 after this one. Bergeron will get 2 assists in this game, so now he is 4th on the all-time assist leaders franchise Boston Bruins. That's too many words in the wrong order. 4th. That guy's in the Rafters, baby. You know it. I know it. This is the thing. There's a lot of talk about the Rafters. Oh, God, this video is going to be a long one. I can already tell. There's a lot of talk about the Rafters and who belongs on it. Rask, Chara, Krejci, Marchand, and of course Bergeron. Bergeron above all else. Yes, above Chara. Yes, above Rask. Absolutely. When I think about Rafters, this is why I'm against Krejci being in the Rafters. I know. Put your arguments below if you want to. When I look up to the Rafters, and this is not true of every single Bruin up there, I don't think. I want to see legends of the game, league-wide. Not just legends of the Bruins. Legends of the game. And it's a little unfair, and I get that. Everyone has their own feelings towards the Rafters and everything. Bergeron's an absolute. Chara, an absolute. Krejci, I'm sorry, man, you missed it by that much. Marchand, if it was today, no sir. No sir. But I think over the next couple of years, yeah, I think he's probably going to earn a spot. Rask, that's a really hard one. I'm a Rask guy. I am. He never won a cup being the guy, right? And this isn't just a knocking of him. That's just the truth. He had all-time great numbers. It's hard for goalies. You look at goalies and you want to see cups, you know? The numbers are great. I think he probably belongs up there. I mean, he's franchise leader in wins, and he just, I think he's got to be top 5 save percentage. I have to look at his underlying stuff. I'm really not sure. Regardless, Bergeron is an absolute lock to be up there. He is a legend of the game. He will always be considered one of the greats. Every fan base is going to look at him and go, "Oh, do you remember Bergeron? Do you remember lining up against him in the faceoff circle? You remember you'd have a fast break the other way and comes out of nowhere and stops it?" Yeah, that's Bergie. What are we talking about now? Well, how did we get here? Flames, 15-6-6. They are 6-3-1 last 10, but they've lost 3 in a row. We made it 4 in a row. Lucic, 1,041st game, I believe, but they celebrated the 1,000th because we didn't get to do it last year with him, and I think that's what they wanted to do originally. But hey, Luch, we love you. And he even gave us a little bit back. We were on the other side of some Luch love tonight. It was kind of funny. They are top 10 in the power play, top 5 in the penalty kill, and the number 1 defense in the league. Markstrom's going to get the start. Puck draw, nope. There's one thing we have to talk about real quick. I know, I've already talked about a bunch. Evander Kane has supposedly been scouted by the Bruins. The 6 teams that are involved, the Bruins are one of them. They went to the Barracuda's AHL game. Now look, that is, in all likelihood, I know people are saying this is a non-factor. They scout AHL games all the time, da-da-da-da-da. You have to admit that there's a possibility that this team would look at that as an option. And I do think if you're a professional scout and you're a front office of a team, you have to kick the rocks, right? You have to take a look at what's going on over there. My Kane take is simple. I really like to wait until the courts do all their work. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And that guy's a smoke factory. That's a 24/7 chimney. I am not fully educated on what he has or has not done. So this is my fault for not getting more educated on it. I don't love diving into civil suits and all that stuff. He's been accused of a lot. San Jose is just trying to get him off the books, willing to eat a large amount of that contract. I'd probably be disappointed if the Bruins grabbed him because I don't really want to sell out my moral code for wins. Because if there's one thing that we've been reminded of this year, Blackhawks, wins are not the most important thing. It is not winning above all else. And that's something that I think a lot of people to their core, they hear that and they go, "What do you mean?" Like, step back, think about it. There are certain things more important. So yes, my take on Kane, if he were to come here, I'd be disappointed in the organization. Not so much burn it to the ground, disappointed. But I'd really be worried about what that would be, what we'd be bringing in with that. And again, I unfortunately have not educated myself enough on actually what's going on with him. So the courts, I know there's still ongoing stuff. I know the gambling was found to be untrue, and that's what we're going to believe because that's what they found for now. I'm not just going to assume the guy did something. It's very clear that there's some animosity between him and some of the women in his life. There's some very nasty allegations. So it's very difficult for me to want to bring that into the room. If he does come here, I'll do a video on it. But I want to be clear. I report on the Bruins. I might not be getting paid for it, but I report on the Bruins. If he comes, then I'm going to report on him like I would any other player. You can put your opinions on that below. Yeah, I would report on it. I would continue to treat him like any other player on the team because I'm not behind closed doors with him. But yeah, I'm not on team bring Kane to Boston. So, to be clear. Puck drops, and it's not great. 9 minutes. I think we had one scoring chance, and I believe it was the fourth line who had it, and they had a half dozen. Ullmark already has to make saves. I think he's at 10 saves basically within the first 10 minutes of this game. This was not a good start, and it actually was a pretty good sign of what was to come. The entire period, pretty much, we just couldn't get control. The first pass wasn't there. The clearance wasn't there. They were buzzing around that zone. Man, can they pick up a loose puck. 9:28 left, and we're going to get called for hooking. Now, if you've been in your zone for almost 11 minutes, you're going to take a penalty eventually. Here's the weird thing about this, and the refs are not going to have a banner night tonight. Marchand goes to the bench, and he's shaking his head. You see him on the replay. Nope, wasn't me. It couldn't have been me. It wasn't me. And you watch the replay, and you're like, wow, Marchand, you're right. It wasn't you. I don't know who it was. There was so much confusion because the refs were talking about it, and they're like, oh, pretty sure Marchand hooked a guy. And Marchand's sitting there, you watch the replay, he's like, I never hooked anybody. I didn't even get close to hooking anybody. This isn't even like a miscommunication on this. Wow, the call was so bad that they just had to grab a guy and just bring him to the penalty box because they couldn't figure out who to call. So they said the first name and they went, oh shit, well, we got to take him now. We made the call. I hate that. I know, non-reviewable or whatever, it wasn't challenged. I don't care. Why? If you get confused, you get your wires crossed, you go check the tape to see who you are supposed to call, and no one hooked anyone, why can't you be like, pick the flag up? There was no penalty on the play. There was a miscommunication. Why can't you do that? So we're going to go to the penalty kill. We are going to kill it because Lazar gets slashed 20 seconds in. And you think it was a makeup call? No, he very much got slashed. So we're going to go 4-on-4, and then we have 18 seconds of a power play. Nothing comes of either one. The game is going to continue as scripted, where we are getting plowed into, but we finally get a clean transition. And who else but the fourth line, right? They really had a nice game for them. Forbort is going to dump the puck out. It's not even like a planned clearance. He's on the left wall. He just chucks up to the neutral zone. Bleed is there to make a play on it. He looks like he's ready to take a hit to make a play, but it's a nice pass to Freddie in the center of the neutral zone. Freddie's coming down, but on his right, he sees just a zipper. Cliffy. Right there, before he even takes the offensive zone, he chucks it to Cliffy. Cliffy's got space for days. Takes the right circle, and this is a sniper Rooney and cheese. This is short side. Is it a soft goal? Yes. Do we give a shit? No. No, I don't. If you want to complain about the soft goal Markstrom let up in the comments below, you do it. But I'm not going to complain. We deserve those once in a while. You've seen how hard this team works for goals. Just take it. Cliffy, short side. That is a 1-0 lead. That's Cliffy hockey. That's a Freddie assist. And at the time I went, Gordie Howe hat trick for Freddie incoming. I went 1 for 3 on the Gordie Howe hat trick. But it looked like I was going to get both of those things later in the game. We'll get into it. It's fine. We're going to go into the intermission with a 1-0 lead. And you feel good about it. Because you feel like you're stealing that period. You won that period, but you probably didn't deserve it. Second period starts, and second verse, same as the first. We're getting plowed into. First 2 minutes, it's all Calgary, baby. And of course, that's going to lead to another call. Grizz, he's going to go for hooking. It was a scramble in front of the net. I actually did not see the replay of this one. I was getting another beer. But I'm going to assume that was a good call. Good call, ref. Good call. We kill it. Because of course we do. But Ullmark has to make 6 saves. 6. We are blessed to still be up a goal. Ullmark was so good in this one. 6 minutes in. It's a goal a soul. Pasta. He's going to take the right side of the zone into the offensive zone. Goes to the bottom of the circle and spins. What is this? And spins and goes right back up to the point. And we're like, okay, well, there's like a change going on, and we're getting pinned out of the zone. We can't even really take the zone and set up. It's just not happening. Marshy goes to the front of the net, and Pasta from the right point is just going to spin and flick, bend and snap. No, I can't do that. Tips it. Martian gets a nice tip, high glove. Martian is between 2 Flames players and untouched. So he gets the chance to tip this. It's a perfect tip. It's 2-0 lead. What a frustrating game for a Flames fan. You are dominating. And just every time you have a little bit of a breakdown, it's in the back of your net. Does that sound familiar? Because that was us a few weeks ago. It ain't us right now, but it was a few weeks ago. 56 seconds later, probably the best looking goal of the game. Face-off win leads to possession time. They attempted clearance. Marchand is there to keep it in on the blue line. He is going to take a nice little wrister towards the net. It's going to get deflected, go behind the net. Bergie is there for the puck retrieval. Puck retrieval! And he's going to spin. A lot of spinning in this game. And flick. And he's going to send it right up the slot. I think he's looking for a streaking Marchand. He does not get him, but he does get McAvoy, who is gliding like a gazelle into the slot, right down Main Street, baby, and he's just gonna snipe, top blocker, it's high corner, it's a beauty of a shot, it's 3-0, that's 56 seconds after the last goal, and it's a backbreaker, and that is the goal where you go, maybe this is it, maybe that's all we need, and that will actually be your game-winning goal. Now you're past the 10-minute mark of this game, and you're thinking to yourself, we just really need to make sure that we take 3-goal leads into the third, right? It's a little unfair to ask that, like, hey, be perfect. But don't do anything stupid that could, bleed for slashing. Yeah, 8:40 left in the period. Yeah, bleed for slashing. That'll get you. It was one of those one-handed, like, he just kind of gets you right here. And they called it, though. They called it at slashing off. We're going to go. And that's going to be a bummer because it's a shot from the point. Ullmark is attacking high on this. He's really attacking outside of the blue crease, just really coming to get it. And this is a flaw with him sometimes. You'll see it. Because the puck gets blocked, and it just goes to the right of him. And Tkachuk has an open net. And it's just out of Ullmark's reach. And just, boop. That's 3-1. It's now a 2-goal game. Not exactly late in the second period, but it's definitely enough to breathe life back into the Flames. As long as we don't do anything else stupid, Marchand to the box again, slashing, 4:47 left in the period. We kill that one, though. 3-1 is going to be your score going into the third. You still feel good about it. You feel good about a 2-goal lead with the way Ullmark's been playing and with the way we've been clearing pucks out of the crease, not of the defensive zone. That first pass is not there for us right now. But you know what makes you feel better? Trent Frederic. 3 minutes in. Freddie's going to take the offensive zone, backhand it on the net from the right dot, a little below the right dot. He's going to swoop around the net. Markstrom makes the save, but bad rebound. Swoops around the net, gets his own rebound, now on the left side. Tries again, backhanded on the net. Gets bounced out. Lazar is there for the third rebound of that sequence. He smacks it, just punches it below Markstrom. That is 4-1, 3 minutes into the third. You feel good about it. I thought it was a Trent Frederic goal at first, so I was like, no, I just need to fight. I just need to fight. Did not get that, and I did not get a Trent Frederic goal. He had a great game, though. You have to feel really good about his game. You have to. That's not optional. We're going to take more penalties. 13:30 left, and Hall for tripping. We kill it. 5:42 left, and we finally get a call. It feels like they went basically, well, the game might be basically over at this point. It's 3-goal lead with less than 6 minutes left. We'll finally give him one. I mean, it was a good call. It was cross-checking. DeBrus took a full numbers hit. And then Lucci comes in behind on Howlo, who's caved in after the whistle. There's a tussle. Lucci gets him with another one. and everyone's yelling, and then Edwards is going off, and you can see Jack Edwards struggling because he doesn't want to insult Luch, but he also, any other player, he would be talking about how awful that is and how you can't do that. You can see the duality of man. Nothing doing on the power play. They are going to get one back a little later in the period. I'm going to be honest. I was looking at notes when this happened, but it's a cross-slot feed from Lucic to Monahan. Monahan just kicks it in. He doesn't kick it. He just redirects it. Very legal. You could absolutely do that. I wish they would just allow kicking at this point. I know why they don't. It's dangerous, but I wish they would. And so it's 4-2. There's no real chance for Omar. Clifton was caught in no man's land trying to block the pass. He got too far from Monahan, who was in front of the net. I'm not really sure who was supposed to be covering at that point. So Omar's going to get a little ding on his save percentage. So he's not going to get like a 9.76 or whatever it would be. It's going to be a 9.52. Boo-hoo. But that's a huge win. That is a huge win. Game notes. Was the officiating bad? Yeah, it was a pretty one-sided. I think even Flames fans would look at this one and go, yeah, the officiating was pretty one-sided in this one. But it doesn't change the fact that you need to get more exits more consistently. That first pass is not there. And it's 2 games in a row that we got absolutely outpossessed and plowed into. Now, it's weird, the dynamic of this team. We flipped it where we were outplaying, outchancing, outshooting teams by a lot and not winning. And now we're doing the opposite. We're getting outshot, outchanced, out-expected goals. And we're winning. High-end goaltending. Getting the puck away from the front of the net. You like to see it. You like to see that we're getting better. I would like kind of a middle-of-the-road thing where we still, have a high expected goals, but also score. Have a low expected goals against us and still shut them down. It's a very weird dynamic. It's weird that it's flipped. We're probably regressing to the mean in both ways. But this cause for alarm, I guess. I'm just going to take the points and keep moving. I'm not ready to make a judgment call on that. 2 assists for Freddie. Second one, especially impressive. It was a hard-working shift. Was it a bad rebound by Markstrom? Absolutely. But you go to the front of the net. You get pucks to the net. You do your job. You're willing to take the hits. That's the Freddie we need. I did want Freddie. I know I've been very vocal about that's not the way the game's played anymore, but the end of this game, I did want Freddie to do something. We're up 3-1. I wanted a drop the gloves Freddie moment. And I'm not going to knock him for it. I was just hoping to see it personally. Third line was invisible. Usually in our zone, a complete mess for the most part. The difference between Howlett on the wing and Howlett at center is very, very obvious. We need to get him back on the wing. Trent Frederick, we need to keep in the center position. Again, that line doesn't work, those two together, but it is funny how we have players of both those ilks. I want Howlett back on the left wing. I'm not sure how that happens. Maybe when Nosek comes back, that's easier to do. We will see. Olmark with a 9.52 and 40 saves. Great. He's finding his game, proving a lot of people wrong, telling a lot of people to go take a hike. Hopefully this continues. There's highs and lows. This is what I was saying before. And this isn't me patting myself on the back of me being so right. I am part of a lot of people who said, give it a little time. I criticized Olmark when the bad stuff was there. But I was saying from the beginning, the analytics are a little lying to you here. There's some bad bounces. There's some weird goals. There's stuff that's going in that in an analytics mind should not have gone in, and I get that. But his negative saves above expected, all that stuff, that was property of some really weird shit that was happening. Some misreading on his part, but a lot of bad bounces too. Now we're starting to see, this isn't what he is. He's not going to be a 9.52 every game, but we are seeing what we saw originally and why we wanted to get him. He's capable of this, and he's capable of this more consistently than obviously we've seen. Those of you who held on to Olmark stock must be very excited because it's just getting better. And hopefully this continues. Because it's proven people like me right, which we love that. We love that. But more importantly, he's getting us points. That is 2 games in a row where I will credit one of those points to him. You know? Good stuff. Penalties were too fucking much. I know it was one-sided officiating, but we got to be better than that. There was a couple weak calls, but there was also some calls that you went, why are we putting ourselves in this situation right now? You have a lead. The last thing you want to do is give the refs a reason to put you in the box. A lot of this does come from us being stuck in our zone, though. This actually leads to a question, though. I asked for a couple questions before this. There's 2 that I want to answer. What do you think the Bruins need more, a top 6 centerman or a top 4 defenseman? Based on getting out of the zone, you'd think I'd say top 4 defenseman. We need to do something about the second and third line. I'm not upset with what the 4th is bringing. Obviously, the 1st is the 1st. I've been preaching split up the top 6. It's not happening. It is time. It is time to make some changes to get more 5-on-5 scoring. We had 5-on-5 scoring this game, which was nice, but it hasn't been consistent. And let's be honest, we haven't seen second or third line really put the pressure on consistently at all. I'm going to go with a forward right now. Now, that can change before the trade deadline, but I'm looking for a forward at the moment. There's a possibility we have, especially if DeBrusque gets moved, we have enough cap space to try to settle both needs. Because we do need a top 4 defenseman as well, I think. Riley has been very much not the second pairing guy I thought he would be this year. Zaboral might be when he comes back, but we're not sure what's going on with that. Other question, do you think Marshy can reach the top 10 in shorthanded goals before he retires? He's only 3 away at the moment. Yes. And I Want a Sandwich down in the comments answered this really well, I thought, because this was in the YouTube comments. But if he continues to be paired with Bergeron on shorthanded shifts and Bergeron stays for another year or 2, you'd be more surprised if he didn't do it, if he didn't get to top 10. That list gets real tough to climb after 10, but yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility. In fact, likely, I would say. All right, guys, that does it for me. This is a long-ass video, but, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you just need to do that. I'm back. I'm looking forward to what next week has to bring. Putting the hours in. I want to start some projects. And life is busy and Christmas and everything. It's hard. But I want to start some projects that have to do with this channel. I want to get a little bit of merch going. If you have any ideas of what you'd like to see from merch, I know I want to do some shot glasses because I'm a degenerate. T-shirts, jerseys are probably going to be a little too much overhead at the moment. But down the road, I want to do like a small line of jerseys would be kind of neat. Anything, though, that you're kind of like, hey, this might be kind of cool. There's no bad ideas in brainstorming, guys. Throw them down below. Give me some XXX ones. Don't do that. YouTube blocks so many of you guys' comments. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but they basically tell you to go fuck yourselves all the time. Any of you guys use language or anything, they're just like delete, and I can't get them back. I can't recover them and put them up. It's weird, YouTube. It's weird, YouTube. Go Bees!